What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Our Streamers Cheaters. Today we're going to be talking about Mutex. We did mention him in a Warzone compilation video recently where we showed a slight video of him being spectated by somebody using wall hacks. What we're going to do today, we're going to be showing you the full-length video that I was sent of Mutex being spectated by somebody using wall hacks. And we're going to analyze it through the video. We're going to go through the process of trying to debunk it through this video. And if we can't debunk it, we will be able to see if he's looking at enemies directly through walls due to the fact that the person spectating him is using wall hacks. If you do enjoy the video, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BadBoy Beaman. It's the best place for you guys to contact me about any streamers, no matter how big or small, if you believe they are cheating. Right, let's crack on with the video. As always, guys, we come across to the channel first. This is Mutex with 532,000 followers. Mutex is a Twitch partner. Mutex's recent streamed category, Call of Duty Warzone. So the guy's a Warzone streamer through and through. Have a look at the About section. I love Call of Duty and entertaining the public. And this is for people who don't know who Mutex is. I can say that a lot of people already know who he is, but for those who don't, this is his channel, 532k followers. Let's go and take a look at some of the footage we've got now. Before we get started watching this video, I want to actually explain to you how this works. If I was using wall hacks and I drop in on an enemy and I die, my wall hacks would still work. It would still show me enemy location based on whatever settings I've got on, whether that be player name, player box, player skeleton, loot. You can actually have ESP settings for loot. It would still show me the location of all of those things, even if I was spectating an enemy. So if somebody suspected a streamer of cheating and they decided to drop into their game by stream sniping them, then die to that streamer, they would then be able to spectate that said streamer and see whether or not that streamer is looking at enemies through the walls, see whether or not their rotations and pushes are based off of knowledge of knowing where enemies are. And the reason why this is possible is because the person spectating can actually see where all the enemies are as well. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go and watch the video of Mutex being spectated by somebody who is using wall hacks. Now again, you could see there was an enemy over towards Superstore direction, and he did do a little look towards that. Would that be deemed as suspicious? I would say no. And the reason for that is because any good player would be doing checks of their surrounding anyway as they're driving through to make sure there's no enemies around them. Okay, but it does look slightly suspicious, the fact that there's a name sitting over at the Superstore area and he takes a look in that direction. Now, if he'd have looked in all directions, maybe it would have come across a little less sus, but for me, still, it's not very suspicious. Let's continue watching. Okay, so he's got his loadout now. He's done a full look around. He's been shot from towards Superstore. So that guy who was on Superstore is now taking shots at him. Okay, let's move it back a little bit here. At this point here, he's looking in the direction of this building. He doesn't know there's any enemies there by visuals other than the minimap. As you can see here, there is a red dot showing up there. Yeah? So he now knows there's an enemy in this building. And then at this point, I know it's poor quality, guys. I know. The enemy is actually on the roof. Now we can see from the wall hacker's point of view, the player name and what looks like player skeleton on the enemy as well. But Mutex playing standard would be able to see that enemy stood on the roof either way, after seeing a red dot on his minimap. So for him to then actually look in that direction through his car 98, it's fair game. Nothing suspicious about that either. Now you can see the player skeleton walking up the building on the left side there. And Mutex decides to push into that exact location. Could he have heard footsteps from there? It's a possibility. You will be able to hear footsteps still from there.
He's above me, man. I saw him on aimbot.
In that situation, again, he's aiming to the left side of the enemy. And the reason I mention that he's aiming to the left of the enemy there is because in the first clip that we showed in the compilation video the other day, it actually shows him as he drops in, he aims to the left of the enemy and then corrects his aim to the right onto the enemy. And I'm wondering whether or not there's a pattern there now. It could be. But he would have been able to hear that enemy there as he's gone in. The reason why I believe he's gone into this building, one, it could be because, hey, if he's got wall hacks, he would have known the enemy was there. But the main thing that I would say is that due to him knowing that there was an enemy in the building next to this, and this being higher, he would obviously go into this building, get on the roof, and have the high ground against the enemy he knows is in the building next to him. It's a good play and a good push. This one here, he aims to the left and then recorrects his aim to the right onto the enemy, kills the enemy. It doesn't help the fact that on his live stream he's talking about cheats. He's maybe doing it in a joking manner, or maybe he's doing a double bluff like I've mentioned in the past. But watch this now. This is from the moment that we've seen in the first clip on the other video. I was doing checks over towards Superstore, and keep in mind that he did get shot from Superstore earlier. He's checking his heartbeat sensor, nothing shows on it. But he does seem to have long pauses over at the building where you can see two player skeletons on the left side. Anybody who has used wall hacks to the point where they've mastered them, being able to hide the fact that they are using them, will tell you that it's so hard to detect if somebody is or isn't using them. Even if you're spectating them whilst using wall hacks, it can be very hard to detect. I want to show you where I think he looked over towards these enemies here. Okay, checks his heartbeat at this point, and this is the second time he looks over at this building in this direction. What's he looking for here? What do you think? And bearing in mind there's two enemies over this side as well. So he's got two over here and two here, which we can see because we're looking at it from the wall hacker's point of view, who is spectating Mutex. So imagine having this sort of game awareness. Okay, he's had no signs of that enemy being on the roof to the left side of him there. Checks his heartbeat, nothing there. There's the enemy. He spots him. Okay, so I'm going to say that he didn't know that enemy was there. I'm going to say he didn't know he was there until he had visuals. The reason for that is because he looked over in that direction for about 2 or 3 seconds before he actually spotted that enemy on the roof. He took his shot and he hit his shot. That wasn't very suspicious to me either. It's at this point that he starts joking about turning wall hacks on. Like beep boop beep boop beep.
Turn wall hack on. Okay, 1 sec. Beep boop boop beep boop bop. Oh yeah, I see him right there. He's literally right there. Oh yeah.
Now we can see that guy lying down. I want to pull it back just a little bit here. I want to analyze this fully. From this point here, we can see the enemy lying down at the end of the hallway. You know, when he drops down and actually kills the guy, we can already see him from this point. And this is the moment where Mutex starts joking about having wall hacks on. Now, of course, we already know that he's seen an enemy on the top of that roof. But how would Mutex know if the enemy is still in there or not? Was it just a guess and got lucky? Maybe. But watch from here, we can see the enemy lying down there. He's joking about turning his wall hacks on. He's like, yeah, I can see him. As he's jumping across, we can see the enemy lying down at the end of the hall there. He does a check on his heartbeat here, and a lot of guys were saying he checked his heartbeat and the enemy showed up. There's nothing there. There's no sign of distance of an enemy or a red dot on the actual heartbeat sensor to indicate an enemy being within that building. There's no sign of it whatsoever. That's his first check. Second check, again, nothing shows up on the heartbeat sensor on his second check. Let's do it. Nothing shows up on the heartbeat sensor for his second check. No sound cue for it. Then he jokes about here, watch this, slightly to the left of the enemy. Now imagine you are using wall hacks. You're a big streamer and you're getting spectated by 3 people. You need to be thinking, hang on, what if somebody's spectating me who's using wall hacks and I aim directly at that person through the wall now? That's going to look bad. So I'll aim to the left side of him. Yeah, like he did on the first instance as he pushed up the stairs. He aimed to the left of the enemy and then readjusted his aim. He's done the same on this one as we go back here a little bit. Okay. Messes about here as if he's aiming at the enemy, but to the left he drops down, and it's almost like he knew that enemy was lying there. And the reason I say that is because we can see the player skeleton. Without that player skeleton there, that's an enemy lying down in a dark corner with a rose skin. And this was at the point before the rose skin nerf. Okay, if it's even been nerfed, because I've seen videos, it's still bad, but this was prior to that. This video is from around the time the rose skin was the ultimate nightmare on Warzone, where you could not see anybody who had the rose skin who was sitting in a dark corner. Yet, somehow Mutex knew he was there and was able to shoot him from this point and shoots at the enemy. That's the only thing that made that suspicious for me, is the fact that the guy had a rose skin. That for me is the reason why this is suspicious, is because he was able to see the rose skin in a dark corner that quick. So, yes, he joked about using wall hacks. Yes, he knew the enemy was around this building earlier on, before a push up into the stairwell and actually killing another enemy, which seemed slightly suspicious. But overall, throughout this whole clip, I would say that there is an explanation for most of it. Even if you're watching with wall hacks, not once did he aim directly at any player skeleton. So if he was doing that, that would be very stupid of him as a top level streamer anyway, even if he was cheating. But there's no signs of wall hacks actually being used, in my opinion, other than the fact that he messed about and joked about using cheats. But on his stream, he instantly switches it to his monitor. He's like, shit, I need to put a camera on my monitor, and he does it instantly. There's no messing about, there's no pressing of buttons. He instantly switches it and shows his monitor. Instead of having a hand cam, it goes to a monitor cam. And you can see on that cam there is no ESP wall hacks on show on his monitor. So guys, although it looks suspicious, and the fact that he's being spectated by somebody using wall hacks, I'm going to sit here and say that for me, there's not enough to go off on this video. What I will say though is that it doesn't seem suspicious in this clip. There's no real high pushes. There's no real hard work being done. There's nothing tricky. He's not getting pushed by 3 teams at once. In those instances are the ones where you will actually find out if somebody is using wall hacks, because they will start looking at people through walls, and that is when you will see them. For this though, it doesn't seem too suspicious in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Well, there we have it guys. That was Mutex being spectated by somebody who was using wall hacks. And for those who didn't really quite understand how that works, I hope that I've explained it pretty well for you in this video. So what do you guys think of that then? Does it still look suspicious? Or do you think throughout that whole video, Mutex had full awareness of enemy positions? Let me know in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And if you want to support the channel further, hit that blue join button today and become a member of the Triple B fam. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BadBoy Beaman. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!